Happy New Year, Astro friends. I just came back from my New Year's walk with a few random Mercury retrograde synchronicity encounters. And what better time than this to do the 12 Days of Christmas Scorpio video here today. Freshly regenerated from walking by the water and in some forested areas. Perfect, perfect. And so it is a Scorpio Leo time of year because why Leo, right? Because we're counting forward in the zodiac of the 12 days. So we're reaching day 8, which is Scorpio, but we're also counting backwards from Pisces to Aries. And on that note, we're now with Leo. So it is a Leo Scorpio time of year because it is a transformational time from one year to another. People feel more the effects of the ever transforming power of time. And at the same time, it's celebratory, Leo. So also it's celebratory, there's lots of fun, and Leo has to do more with what's being presented on the outside, yet there's also lots going on the inside and on deeper levels to be processed around this time of year. And yes, so what's up with Scorpio? Scorpio is the toughest cookie of the zodiac, maybe Capricorn in a different way, but Scorpio more in an emotional way. And Scorpio has gone through a lot in the last year with the eclipses and the South Node in Scorpio. So since end of 2021, the South Node has been in Scorpio and the North Node in Taurus. And that, of course, also affected and determined the eclipses. The two major eclipses for Scorpio were the total lunar eclipse on May 15th with the full moon, and the Buddha moon in Scorpio always is, but in this case also a total lunar eclipse. And also the partial solar eclipse on October 25th, a new moon also in Scorpio. And both that lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse have been release eclipses because that's what is the association with the South Node. So anything that doesn't serve us anymore, just especially doesn't serve Scorpio in this case anymore, and scorpionic matters that are really here mostly to reveal the shadow, but not to be pulled into its grips and get stuck there, get trapped there in these emotions, in these dark corners and dungeons. So hopefully you found ways of processing and releasing over the last year. The good news is that eclipse, that nodal pair with eclipses is now sort of coming to a close, not quite yet, but mid-July. So we're now in the early part of Scorpio, early part of Taurus with the nodes, and then a few eclipses still to come this year. The one in May. So that lunar eclipse in May will be also in Scorpio like last year. And that's, wait a minute, that's the new moon. So the full moon will be on May 5th, yeah, Cinco de Mayo. Penumbral lunar eclipse. Also release, in this case, the moon in mid-Scorpio, again, the Buddha moon, and the node in earlier Scorpio, so not a total eclipse, but still. Lots to release, lots of processing, lots of purging, right? And then we'll have one more bonus, so to say, solar eclipse in Scorpio, even though the nodes have already shifted by then, on October 28th. I'm just looking for it. And it's really interesting that I just saw on Facebook photos of a friend of mine who's born on that day. And first I thought, yeah, that's and she's a Leo rising. So the Leo Scorpio dynamic, always passionate, always out there and in there. And so that eclipse will be a partial, it's a lunar eclipse on the 28th, full moon. And what's with the solar eclipse? Okay, so that's it. That's it. No more eclipses for Scorpio after that really affects Scorpio. I wouldn't say that the October 28th is such a big deal because the full moon is in Taurus. It's more about the Taurus full moon than the Scorpio sun. And but still, as I said, the 5th of May one is sort of the last hurrah. And then the planet, we still consider Pluto a planetary archetype, even though it's got demoted by the astronomers, but the archetypes don't die if you reclassify a planet. Anyway, Pluto has been in Capricorn, weighing really heavily on lots of us to really do lots of deep work, historic work around undoing our engagement with certain power structures of the old empire. And that is also this year coming to a closure since 2008, right? So it's been a 15-year process. And yeah, so Pluto will go into Aquarius, in other words, on May 16th, no, that's March 23rd until June 11th. And what does that mean for Scorpio? It will square Scorpio from Aquarius. Will square Scorpio for the next 20 years. So that Pluto square, hopefully you Scorpios, you have Pluto as your totem. You know how to handle Pluto. And it will be a contrast, in other words, between the deeper psychological and power processes and soul processes in Scorpio versus what's going on in humanity and the changes that are going on in systems and in humanity. The keyword here is technology, technocracy, and transhumanism. What's with that? How does Scorpio like it? Or how is Scorpio involved in all of this? Lots of tension, lots of opportunities to actually make the world a better place, once again, from the inside out for you, Scorpio, to point out the shadow and to help transform things and repurpose things for a better, for a better purpose, right? What else is going on for Scorpio in 2023? So that piece with Pluto, you might have a bit of a precursor in the spring, and then it comes fully from January 20th, 2024 on until 2044. And so Neptune, in the meantime, has been nice, on nice terms with Scorpio. Neptune in Pisces in trine with Scorpio. So more about the web of life, the mystery, the magic of it all. You probably really enjoyed riding that wave, and also how it took you to deep, spiritual, transcendent, and magical places. Then similarly, Saturn will enter Pisces. So you get a relief from Saturn because Saturn has been in Aquarius. As I said, Pluto's entering, but Saturn is leaving. Saturn has been in Aquarius since 2020 in square with Scorpio. Yeah, Scorpio had a rough time in the last while. Good for you guys to get through this. Hopefully you did in a good way, in a not so destructive way, in a rather empowering way. So Saturn has been squaring Scorpio from Aquarius. These changes, these challenges, I should say, in society and for people, for humanity, for groups of people, for the system, Of course, you Scorpio, you probably sensed with your instinct what's going on and what kind of dynamics weren't really true, in other words, right? So where true authority, Saturn's about authority, lies, and where we're not supposed to buy, we don't need to buy into an authority that is not really justified. And so with that, Scorpio had a lot to digest and to process and to point to the shadow. And hopefully this process is, the purpose of this process is pretty much complete, and we're transitioning into Pisces, where it's about connectedness. The teachings, the spiritual teachings of all is connected, but also very practical, pragmatic evidence about all is connected. And Scorpio can help us with that. Then we have Uranus in Taurus opposing Scorpio, another thing, since 2019. So Uranus in Taurus, lots of disruption in nature, in biology, in the bodies, in habits, in consumer habits, in the economy, in the monetary system. How did you like that, Scorpio? What is this all about? Scorpio shows us what's behind the tangible level that Taurus represents, right? And Jupiter will enter Taurus, also oppose Scorpio from May 16th on this year until end of May 2024. And so the Jupiter opposition can be actually quite beneficial, especially in relationships. It can stabilize you, can ground you, can for you to find a place from which all this deep stuff can happen, something solid, and maybe in a relationship. Then, yeah, that's about it. The last two things I say for Scorpio is Lilith goes into Leo here soon on January 8th. That's in a week from today. Lilith goes into Leo until October 4th, when she then goes into Virgo. So 9 months as usual. And from Leo, also a square to Scorpio. And so that can be actually quite a passionate thing, unless you get really ticked off by people who are too full of themselves and you point them back to what's, all this pomp and circumstance, what it's really about, what's under the surface, and what needs to be looked at. So actually, ideally, Lilith already takes us into our inner wild and unconditioned passion and love and heart and self-expression, not the showy side of Leo. But Scorpio can always help a little bit with that stuff too. And then Mars will go into Scorpio. Mars is a 2-year cycle, and this year will be in the signs from Gemini, where it's currently still a little bit retro, till the 12th of January. From Gemini to Sag, and in Scorpio from October 11th till November 24th. So throughout the whole Scorpio season will be also Mars boosted. So that one gives you quite an energy to go through lots of stuff and maybe go through deep changes that are now really needed and that you are so ready for. Mars is extra energy. Mars in Scorpio is also perfect for any spiritual work or spiritual processes, because now we get the passion to really get to the core and the bottom of things and into the soul of the heart of the matter and the soul of things. So This much for Scorpio. I think that was short and sweet. Oh my gosh, just 15 minutes. But I believe that's all that's needed. And of course, you're always welcome to come to a private session here to explore these things personally. I want to say on that note that my treat time offer from December, best offer of the year, 22% off for treating yourself, also 33 for treating somebody else, and you can do a 2-for-1 even. So that one, I extended that till Epiphany, January 6th. So last minute opportunities to join and come for a session in this case. Yeah, when I talk of joining, of course, you're also welcome to join one of the groups that are starting here soon, the Aspects Group Astrology 303, and that's an intermediate group. Again, a fusion or a hybrid between in person, whoever wants to and is able to come to Victoria, or online. And that's an 8-week course starting on January 10th. And then also the Astro Archetypes starts again. The Winter Journey starts on January 26th and goes till the last week of winter. So my Facebook page shows those events. And if you're on my Astro newsletter, the Astro News, you see them there as well. Would love to have you in one of the groups, especially, so in person if you can, as I said, but not necessarily. Let me know if you're interested, and I leave it with that. Happy New Year again, and yes, Scorpio, you can do it. You got this, and we love you for that. Take care. Bye.